Hi guys, Dave here from Big Jeepers Garage. Today we're going to finish up the floor on the Comanche. We're going to put it back together and we're going to show you how we fix that floor this week. Alright, let's go. Okay, time for a little bit of rust removal. So I bought this America's #1 rust remover, Evapo Rust. Got it from Pep Boys. And I ordered it. Well, I don't have a Pep Boys around here, but I ordered it online. Okay, according to the directions, they want you to soak the item for 1 to 12 hours, depending on the depth and the age of the rust. But on large objects, they want you to basically use paper towels and wet the area and then cover it up with plastic. So I'm simply going to brush this over to paper towels to wet it and lay it on sections at a time. And I'm just going to use some kitchen trash bags as my plastic sheeting just to keep it from evaporating very quickly. Alright, okay, so this is pretty much what I came up with. Put it in a spray bottle. It's kind of leaky, but that's alright. And then I'm just going to spray everything, and then I'm going to lay the paper towels over it. Or to spray more on. Spray away more on. Alright, now take the paintbrush and smooth the bubbles out so that the towel lays against the metal. See how this works. A little rough one-handed. We'll do a little bit more, then I'll switch over to using two hands. And this kind of reminds me of those grade school projects where you used to use the Elmer's glue and the paper, and you would take something hard, like I think they call it decoupage. I'm not sure, but you would just go over it and spread the glue. But from what I can see already, the rust that's been sprayed and hasn't been covered up yet is already changing color. So I'm assuming this stuff actually does something. So I'm going to keep at it and see how we go. Okay, so we have soaked the paper towels, worked all the bubbles out, covered it in plastic. I'm going to shut this light off so I'm not putting any excess heat in here. I'm going to shut the AC off in here, and it's kind of humid, so I don't think this will dry anytime quickly. Let's hope not. But we'll come back every couple hours and check and see how it's doing. Okay, we're at about 2 hours now, and it's still damp. That's good. But the wetness on here is because the ceiling, which was rusty, I just went ahead and sprayed it. If it took, it took. If it didn't, no big deal. I don't think we're going to get that much moisture up there, but it was rusted. I ground it down, and I just simply sprayed that rust dissolver, or whatever they call it. Alright, I think I'm just going to let this sit till it actually dries and peel it off later. Wow. So here we are. Yeah, 5.5 hours later. And humidity for once is working in my favor. The ceiling's barely damp. No, it's dry. Take that back. But everything that I sprayed earlier is still damp. Okay, final check for the day. We are at 9 hours later. Oh yeah, it's still damp. That's awesome. We'll see what that does. Put the plastic back. Come out here tomorrow and tear this apart. Call this a night. Okay, so here we are. 2 days later, everything's dried up. We cleaned up, and basically what I'm looking to do now is I'm going to line these patches up in the position where they're going to be, and I'm going to mark with my marker all the way around the edge. Then I'm going to clean that and prep it for welding. So I'm just going to use the wire brush on my grinder, and we're going to prepare the edges so that we can go ahead and tack weld this in place and go from there. Great, so I've marked it. I'm going to prep it. I'm also going to take this patch. I'm going to go around everywhere we're going to weld it, and I'm going to prepare the surface on here as well, because they coat this. I'm not sure what the coating is. It's some sort of a anti-rust primer, and that anti-rust primer is going to prevent us from getting a good contact and a good weld. So I will simply wire brush the edge of this, wire brush all around where I'm going to be welding, and up here in the front probably going to have to grind that seam filler off of that as well. And we'll get it down to the bare metal again and get ready to weld. Alrighty, so we've got it, the metal prepped, cleaned, ground down, ready to take a good weld. And what we're basically going to have to do, you can see the patch is not lying flush with all the metal all the way around. You're not going to get that because the metal that's on the floor already is going to give way every time you try to tap it down or whatever. So but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in this corner right here. I'm going to work my way up along this brace, and I'm going to apply pressure as I move along the weld. And it's basically, that's why there's such a wide area cleaned around this. You need at least an inch or so. I went with like a 3/4 of an inch on either side of the line that I drew, and what that will do is that will allow the patch to adjust so that I can get it flush with the floor all the way around as I go. And hopefully by the time I get to the end, it will all match up. I'll be able to tap it into place and finish welding it. So I'm basically going to go around, do a few tack welds here and there to hold it in place, try to get it to lay down, and then I'm going to put more welds around it. I'm not going to try to weld a bead because that's just going to warp. I'm going to blow through. I'm not that good of a welder. So, alright, we'll check back and see how it looks. Okay, here we go. I said I am not a welder, but my dad did tell me that the difference between a good weld and a bad weld is a grinder. You just grind off the bad weld and re-weld a good one. And these boogers need all ground up, probably need touched up, and then we'll fill it with seam sealer. It seems pretty solid, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, here it is. Seam sealer's in place. Let's see, pull this up. Alright, there he is, a little better shot of it. I really think that I wasted my time grinding most of these welds off, because when you put the seam sealer on, it just leaves big boogers all over it anyhow. So that, and I'm basically going to put something on the inside of here. I'm not sure what yet. I'm going to find something and pretty much brush something on the whole inside of the floor, like an undercoating or something, and then I'll lay something over top of that and put my padding in and my carpet in. But yeah, grinding the welds is pretty much a waste of time, because when you put this on, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be solid, which it definitely is. Alright, we're going to let this cure, harden. It's probably going to take a day or so to really get some of this dried up in the thick areas, and we'll see what I can find to put on the floor. Okay, here's the floor. Pretty much ready. I laid that mat in that I was talking about. That's these mats over here that I bought at Harbor Freight for like $6. Had 4 pieces. I still have 2 pieces left over. And this is what I did. I cut it out to fill the areas so that it would not leave a gap underneath the carpeting. And then all this black stuff is literally a non-automotive product. I had this laying around in the shop, and it is this Henry rubberized wet patch roof leak repair. I put it on my roof when it was leaking before I had my metal roof put on, and I put it on in a rainstorm, and that stuff dried pretty hard. So this is pretty good now. It's a little soft right there, but everywhere else it's just about completely hardened up. And I'm going to use that also for sound. That'll help with the sound along with all the padding that's in here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and lay the carpet in. Alright guys, that's it for this week's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to click like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get notified as soon as I upload a new episode. We're going to move on from the floor. We're going to go ahead and put the interior back together and move on with everything that's next. All right, have a nice day.